You look at AOC cheering or demanding the criminal the charges for Penny, saying that it was murder. So a murder happened in public. How is he not getting? It's wild. They're creating the problem. They're exacerbating the crime, and then they're trying to imprison and destroy the lives of anybody who tries to protect themselves. They genuinely don't want you living in these cities.
And where does this all come from? We have communism being rebranded.
Yep.
In Western culture.
Yeah.
A lot of this stems back to Karl Marx. It's the same policies. It's the theory that there is class warfare. There's an oppressor class and there are the oppressed. And a lot of people, when you're talking about this with normal people, it's not probably good to talk about communism because they look at you sideways like you have a hole in your head and you're some conspiracy theorist. But Marxism has been rebranded to be equity. And up in Canada, where I'm from, we even have the conservative leaders calling for an equitable society. Well, equity is just equality of outcome. That's not what we want. We want equality of opportunity. If Martin Luther King were alive today, they'd be calling him the black face of white supremacy, just as they did with Larry Elder in California, because he was calling for equality of opportunity. But he would be aghast at what's happening today. I
mean, but we're also talking about the civil rights era back in the 50s and stuff. So he's fairly conservative on a lot of issues. And I don't know what his religious background was. Obviously, he
Martin
was
Luther King.
Yeah, obviously he's Christian, but I don't know which sect specifically.
He was Baptist.
Baptist.
Yeah.
I mean, just that alone makes him a fascist.
Right, a Christo-fascist.
Right.
If you're a Christian today, you're a Christo-fascist. I get called it all the time. People assume I'm a Christian. I'm not. I'm basically agnostic. But I deal with these crazy people all the time, these violent people. I've been arrested twice after getting assaulted, just because it's easier to get rid of me than it is to get rid of all the crazy people.
I've been saying that. We had a Press for Truth. Dan Dix was at a protest. Do you know the story?
That's me that he was filming.
Oh, he was filming you. And then they pulled him out.
I'm the guy that got assaulted.
And then they removed him. They said, you got to get out of here. And they pulled him out and threatened him with arrest.
That's happened to him as well.
Right. He was assaulted.
I'm confused because he was recently just interviewing me when I was assaulted.
And then they threatened you with arrest or did arrest you?
No, the main police officer who was there to investigate a previous assault that I already incurred smiled as I was getting assaulted.
Wow. And
this video had 80 million views. It went all around the world.
Wow. Dan was...
This was just a couple months ago, but I've also been arrested after getting assaulted twice in Vancouver.
Dan was filming a protest. They attacked him. The police then come in and they say, you have to leave. And he's like, me? He's like, they attacked me. And he's like, don't care. You get out now or you're going to be arrested.
It happened. It happens.
I've been telling people.
It happens to street preachers as well in Canada.
The police are going, well, look at that preacher in Reading, Pennsylvania. Do you see this story?
No.
There was a pride event happening and a guy was in the street and he started to quote a Bible verse and the cop just grabs him and arrests him.
Oh, I did see that.
Because the cops are thinking it is easier to arrest one person than deal with a riot.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's good. It's great when they do that because this backfires. Backfires every time. I got charged with causing a disturbance after getting assaulted by a union rep, actually, of the British Columbia government. And I was hoping it would go to trial because this would have been a slam dunk victory. But of course, one day before my court hearing, the charge gets dismissed. In the meantime, I was banned from walking on all these streets in the middle of downtown Vancouver. But all it does is bring in more support for the cause. So it backfires every time. And we have to, we have to expose this every time, but we have to also take it and use it in our favor, as we have been doing, and it's working. People are waking up finally to what's going on in Western culture.
Yeah. You just worry, though, and I think there's kind of an intellectual and governmental arms race occurring, which is the left is trying to become as powerful as possible and get as much leverage over the average person before people wake up to what's happening, right? Ideally for them, everyone hasn't woken up to what they're doing and what they're trying to do until it's already too late and they have all of the power. So we have to get as many people as possible informed before we get to the point where they're literally able to do whatever they want. And it's getting close. It really is getting very close.
And my biggest concern for all of this is the universities. Because that's where these kids are really getting indoctrinated.
Yeah.